the school system almost universally all around the world is one of, if not the primary brainwashing tool used by the powers at be to keep all of humanity slaves. Slaves. And I'll tell you, if I had a kid right now, there's no way in hell I'm putting that kid in any conventional education school system. No way. No way. No way. Impossible. No way. It may very well be the primary way of brainwashing humans into keeping them slaves. Because where do children from the age of, now they try to get you into kindergarten early, right? Let's say from the age of 4 to the age of even later, university, college. So you go all the way up to 23, 24, 25. So let's say between age of 4 and 24. Most people, most children who become adults, so most humans between the ages of 4 and 24, which are very formative years, spend their time in school, or as Eric Cartman would say, school. That's cool, school. So, I mean, after that, you're pretty much brainwashed. I mean, good luck, unless you're lucky and you got some proper guidance and you're listening. After that, good luck changing your ways. Most people just don't go past the programming from there on. So that's it. You're a slave. You're a slave. So let's see. First thing they brainwash you with is the idea that you're gonna graduate and get a job. Right? So that's it. Most people go to university and college because they want to be able to make money after. They want to be able to make a living. Because you get sold the idea in school that that's the way it is. You go, you get a job, you get a mortgage, get a house, and the whole American dream business. And that's financial slavery. Right, so financial slavery. So they got you there. The idea is planted. There aren't any courses teaching you how to take care of your finances. Now, there's nobody, I don't remember anybody, not even a teacher, because the teachers themselves have been brainwashed already, most of them. Not all, most of them. I never remember anybody telling me how to minimize your expenses, that there's a lot of shit you don't need. That's like the first step actually, is like just live according to your needs, which means you need very little, which means, consumerism, that's anti-consumerism basically, which doesn't gel well with the corporations and the banks, which are in control of all our institutions, everything. So they got you there. So your basic needs as a human being are now dependent on these corporations, dependent on paper, money. There aren't any courses teaching you how to grow your own food, how to be self-sustained, of course, right? None of that. I mean, imagine they took kids from age 4 and began to teach them how to grow food and made that as a primary thing. I mean, we'll teach you math and science, but, we'll teach you later on. In your first, early formative years, let's teach you how to grow food. And you spend like 3 years. That's all they teach you, how to grow food. They teach you how to, be self-sustained, because if you're self-sustained from food, and they teach you how to shelter yourself in nature. Okay, I mean, imagine, we're going to imagination land here, and why not? The world is changing, we're moving up, we're ascending, so we need some ideas for the future, for our future education systems. So I'm gonna just throw some ideas that are coming out of my ass, let's say, okay, my lovely beloved asshole. So let's suppose that here you are, 6 years old. All right, so let's not do the math and science for now. We'll let your brain develop a little bit anyway. Let's just take you out in nature, everybody, for 3 years. That's the school system. We'll teach you how to shelter yourself in nature, how to build shelters, how to grow your own food, how to grow your own food at home or in nature. How to grow fruit trees, how to do this, how to do that, how to shelter yourself, basic survival needs, right? We'll teach you that for 3-4 years. And now, like, the kid's 10 years old, 11 years old, and he can do all that. Now, back in, or even in now in indigenous tribes and stuff, by the time a kid is 11, they know how to do everything. So a lot of times the kid would get married. They'd find a girl in the tribe and they'd marry them. The kid's 12, 13, already mature. He knows how to take care of himself. He knows how to take care of others. He knows how to provide food, provide shelter. That's why they get married so early, and they're mature. So imagine you spent the first few years in the school system just teaching people basic survival needs, how their connection with nature, and kids love nature. You put them in nature, watch what happens. They love nature. They love, like, animals. Most kids love animals. They love animals. They love, perhaps if we put them in nature and have them spend more time with the elements and animals, then when they grow to be adults, they wouldn't eat these animals, kill them and eat them. But that's just one aspect. So imagine that happens, right? Imagine, all right, the kid's 10, 11. Kid knows how to do everything, right? A girl or a boy, they know how to do everything. They know how to provide food, how to build shelter. And so you teach them the most important aspects of a human being, the lower chakras, the root chakra. You just taught them that, which is perfect because you want to start from the root. So now we have people in our society that can sustain themselves, that can work together. Because you get them to work together. You see, they're working together. You have all these kids, 20 kids at a time, working together like a tribe. So you teach them cooperation. You get them to be in touch with nature. You let them climb trees. You let them do all, just be. Okay? So then you could teach them, other stuff. Right? You could teach them, and then you can teach them about math and science. Now that they can take care of their basic stuff, we can go up into the intellect, right? So then you teach them now, maybe because now they're getting a little bit older, right? You can teach them how to respect others. So you can teach them now interpersonal skills, right? Solar plexus and, these still in those chakras. You teach them that in the heart. You begin to teach them respect others, and then you just teach them personal development. You have personal development courses. I mean, these are all way more important than math and science, okay? Way more important. Like, way more important. Like, way more. So then you teach them personal development and stuff like that, right? You don't have to teach them language. You let them speak to one another, like English. You got to teach them about, I don't know, like how to speak things you would never even speak, things you would never even say. But you could teach them all of this. You could teach them, even in the first years, as they're in nature, you could have 1 hour, all right, we're going to study English. Or you can even teach them science. But outside, not inside some stupid classroom. Teach them outside. Do experiments outside. Light fires and show them how the 4 elements work. I love science, by the way. I always loved it when we had like little experiments in class. But that versus here, we're gonna light a fire, and here's how the air element works with the fire element. So no, still teach this stuff. I'm not saying not teach it, but teach it out there where it's actually applicable. Okay? And then, the kids are a little bit older, so you have personal developments. Teach them how the mind works. Teach them how to program it, how to visualize something. The kids are a little bit mature now, and they may start, their tendencies are developing. One of them maybe wants to be a musician. One of them wants to be an artist. So now you show them, okay, visualization. This is how you visualize. This is how you do positive affirmations, etc., etc. This is how you get positive energy. And then you teach them about kindness to others, etc., cooperation. And perhaps when the kid is a teenager, now you can get a little bit more serious now. And at that point, if somebody's showing a lot of, science and math tendencies, then you could now lay it on them in more intensely. If somebody's not showing these tendencies, they don't want to do science and math, then you have now from here on, people can branch out. All right, you want to do art? We have classes now for art, like some intensive classes too. Like a kid is 13 and now the kid has a good idea because you allowed them to have exposure to a wide range of things. You allowed them to be in nature. So now the kid can be like, okay, I'm gonna do art. And there's absolutely no need for you to do calculus or something. You know, like why would a kid that's into art want to do calculus at age 13, 14, 15? You know, that's it, because you see their tendencies, they understand themselves. All right, so now the kid goes, does the art thing. Then the kid who really liked those science experiments that he got to experience, she got to experience firsthand. All right, so now you want to do calculus. All right, so here's calculus classes, this and that, etc. And you have all these kids who know themselves better, who can provide for themselves, can grow food, can build shelters. Yeah, then from there on, you know, that's how you build a strong society. That's how you build a healthy society. They can cooperate with one another. They respect one another. So now that I think about it, the school system indeed is the primary way of brainwashing people into becoming slaves to the system, to the elites, to the people in control of our institutions. And yeah, like here's another thing. I grew up in the Middle East, and oh boy, were you brainwashed with religion? Oh man, where you brainwashed? Oh Jesus, with Islam, right? Oh boy, oh my God. So in some countries, they brainwash you with the religion too. Another institution that's all about manipulation, control, power. Okay, so yeah, so this is you know, the world, you know, that has to be a primary talking point for all of us who want to change the world. Actually, is the school system, because if our children are growing up like that, you know, that's, you start from the children. If we want to change the world, right there, the children, this is our future. So yeah, I'll tell you, on me personally, if I had a kid right now, no way, not being in the school system. I would pull them out. Now, of course, some of you guys are watching, you have kids, they're in the school system. I understand, and because you yourself are deep in the system. Just be careful, okay? Be careful with your kid. You know, teach them, okay, you know, you're putting them in the school system because you yourself are still in the system. By the way, there are many alternative ways of teaching now. There are alternative methods, alternative schools, home schools, people coming together in communities and teaching kids, and they are there. I mean, no matter what you do to your kid, they're still spending most of their time in school. They're still spending most of their time there. So rethink it, perhaps. Rethink it. If you're really serious anyway about changing the world, about coming with new alternative ways of living that are beneficial to all, that are about love, compassion, and respect to all, connected with nature. I mean, really, like, rethink it. Pull yourself out of the system first before you pull your kid. The only reason your kid's still in that system is because you're in the system yourself. But I get a video coming up about quitting your job right after this one. I'm coming out after everybody today. A lot of hesitation out there, a lot of fear of people who hate their jobs, hate the system, but you're still plugged into it. You're chained by it because of fear, because you don't want to take that step forward. You don't want to do that thing that's scary. But I got it. Just watch the next video, okay? I got a rant coming on that. So, okay. For you people who are still now in the school system, you're in the college, you're in school, what do you do? Most of you guys watching this are in conventional school systems. Most of you are watching, you're now in conventional school systems, right? Well, figure out a way as soon as possible. Make it as if your life depends on it. Figure out a way out as soon as possible. Okay, if you're in college right now, do your college thing, but make it a secondary thing. Meaning, if you're really serious about this, like for me, university last 2 years was a secondary thing. If I got a 50% in courses, it was sufficient. I started doing YouTube on the fitness when I was still in university. I began to prepare for it as soon as I graduate. The videos came out. Like, it was just, they were firing. I was preparing for it. While I was in my university years, I was preparing for it. The last 2 years, I was preparing. I didn't know that it was YouTube, but I was preparing for something. University, my subjects, everything that had to do with university was secondary. For I copied every, we had a system going on. So we had the guy who got us the assignments. We'd copy them. I had a system going on. So the school work was minimal for me. And I spent a lot of time reading and contemplating and reflecting on those last 2 years, because I knew no way in hell I'm gonna do anything to do with what I have learned all throughout those years. So if you're in school right now, just make it a secondary thing. Cheat if you must. Copy assignments if you must. Okay? Do whatever is necessary just to keep yourself floating. Or just get the fuck out. My brother just did that. Okay? And he's figuring himself out. He's right here, right now. He's hanging out in Pi for a little while. Right? Maybe do something crazy like this. I mean, he's gonna go back. He's gonna be with my parents, but he's got a lot of time now to figure himself out. It's not the worst thing for you if you're 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, even 22, even older. It's not the worst thing to spend a year with your parents right now. Sure, it's got restrictions, but you got an entire year. You got no expenses. Okay, you got the food and you got the shelter. You got a room in your house. Your mom still loves you, and my mom, secretly, not secretly actually, she's vocal about it. She loves the fact that my brother is hanging out with her now, even though he's trying to figure himself out. But she actually loves the fact that he's hanging out with her. So your mom will actually like it, She, she loves it, even though he's trying figuring stuff out. But she's actually like she misses him, She's like, come back. It's not a bad idea. You go, you get a year, you figure shit out, you go online, you begin to look at all these different ways, you begin to work on your passion, work on your mission. You've got all this time, no expenses, zero stress, because you got no expenses. Sure, it's limiting, you don't have your freedom, you still gotta abide by the rules of the house, etc. But you just go secretly and vocally even, just work on your thing. There are lots of ways out, folks. Okay? Sometimes just drop out, Fear, if you've got a support system, somebody to take you in or whatever, why not? Why waste time? Right? Why waste time? And that's the conclusion my brother came to. He just let it go. He let it go, which was a very brave thing of him to do. And when he did it, he was so relieved. And he said, man, that fear, it's been holding him, because he wanted to drop out for the last 3 years. And every time it came so close for him to do it, he backed out because of fear. Same thing with you guys with the jobs, but that's the rant for the next video, because I know the audience here is varied in age. Some of you guys have kids, some of you guys are teenagers in your 20s. So yeah, it's things are moving, the shift is happening, the ascension process is occurring, things are speeding up. So get on with it, because things are really speeding up now. Okay, they really are. Opportunities are rising, things are happening faster and quicker because of the shift, the ascension, the event. And yeah, just do it. I mean, whatever it is, just do it. Or really just, man, it is enough slavery, right? Enough slavery. Okay. Yeah, nature right here is the best teacher. Nature is the best teacher. So simple life. I live a very simple life right now. It's very, very simple. Very simple. In every way, it's simple. In every, it's simple, and it's, oh man, Hakuna Matata. It's the motto. And then I got a lot to learn. It turns out I don't know how to even light a fire. I don't even know how to set up a tent. So I got a lot to learn now. I'm, and that's gonna be the direction moving forward, is like basic survival needs. Basic, how can I sleep when it's cold? How can I sleep when it's hot outside in nature? That's the learning coming up for me in the next few years. Because it turns out I'm an idiot. It turns out I've been part of this whole time. And yeah, so I got a lot to learn here, but now applicable learning that's even satisfying, that's connected to nature, to the elements. So Thank you to all the Patreons for your continued, consistent support. I love you guys. And if you would like to join in, support this mission that I'm on here, the mission that I continuously talk about, the alleviation of suffering, the increasing of the consciousness, the ascension process. That's what I'm dedicated to. And so if you'd like to support the mission, you've got a couple of bucks a month to throw my way. Highly appreciated. The link is in the description for Patreon. Also for one-time donations, if that's you just want to do a one-time thing also. Highly, highly appreciated. I love you guys. Instagram, Saeed Mobayed. And until next time, may the force be with you.